The Climate Problem by Grace Brisky. The Discovery. Global warming is a prevalent and well-talked about issue today that was first discovered in 1938 by Guy Callendar. Callendar was a rather unknown scientist that worked as a steam engineer. He observed and collected records from 147 weather stations and calculated Earth's global temperatures. With his results, he made a shocking discovery that Earth's temperatures had risen by 0.3 degrees Celsius over the last 50 years. Callendar argued that increased carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere caused by industry were the cause of this change. It was previously known that carbon dioxide kept the Earth warm, but no one believed that humans could make such a large impact on a large system such as Earth's climate. Thus, Callendar's findings were largely ignored. It wasn't until 1958 when geochemist Dr. Charles David Keeling measured levels of CO2 in water and air did the scientific community have proof that CO2 levels were rising. With his samples, Keeling was also able to attribute the rising levels to the burning of fossil fuels. Research into the problem. After the warming Earth was proven to be caused by increasing levels of CO2, people began to research more into the issue. People also began to create models of the Earth's climate. Most today are made by supercomputers using information collected from satellites. The first computer model of the climate, created by Sakuro Manabe and Richard Weatherald, predicted that if CO2 levels doubled, that the temperatures on Earth would increase by 2 degrees Celsius. The scale of the climate problem was letting itself be known, and by 1968, a glaciologist by the name of Dr. John Mercer predicted that the warming temperatures could melt the ice caps. In 1985, an ice core sample from Antarctica showed CO2 levels of the past 150,000 years. The level showed a clear relationship between global temperatures and CO2 levels. It gets worse. As research continued, the gravity of the situation became more apparent. In 1985, a team of scientists reported an anomaly over the South Pole. Their data showed that abnormally low levels of ozone. This was a huge problem as the ozone layer in the atmosphere protects the Earth from UV rays. They attributed the lower levels of ozone to chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, a compound often used in aerosols. Another problem discovered was the rising acidity levels of the ocean. The increased acidity levels, caused by increased CO2 in the water, makes it difficult for corals to build their skeletons and for shelled animals to build their shells. Other animals around the world were also being put at risk as changing regional climate changed their habitat. Looking for solutions. Research has not only been put into the consequences of climate change, but also its solutions. It became clear that emissions of greenhouse gases needed to be brought down. In 1997, the Kyoto Protocol committed industrialized countries to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This was then furthered by the 2015 Paris Agreement, which the U.S. backed out of. People research and create new ways to reduce emissions every day. Electric cars are an example of this, as they no longer use gas. The U.S. looks to lower emissions by reducing reliance on fossil fuels and relying instead on clean energy sources such as solar or wind. Fighting change. While most people understand that global warming and climate change are serious problems that must be fixed, some do not. This has made the fight for solutions even harder. It is often because of money that people fight the solutions. Large companies often fight legislations because they will decrease their yearly profits. Some people also do not believe in climate change as a whole and thus fight laws that they believe may undermine the economy and their profits for no reason. This will become a larger and larger issue as the consequences of global warming become increasingly irreversible. Part of the problem. While global warming may seem like a big issue that is out of your control, I believe that you can make a difference. Anyone can make impacts, big and small. One way you can help is by reducing your personal emissions. This can be done simply by choosing to walk to places instead of driving. If affordable for you and your family, you can also choose more sustainable brands or buy an electric car. Advocating is another way to make a big impact. Letting people know about the climate problem and its solutions can cause more people to start a more sustainable lifestyle and thus lower emissions even further. Overall, climate change is a huge problem that will require the world to come together to fix. It may take some time and effort on everybody's parts, but the solution is within reach.